So welcome, Sarah. This is such a lovely subject. Do you practice what you preach? And I think the answer for most of us is no, we don't. So thank you very much for showing us, teaching us, guiding us as to what we can do to be better role models for our clients and have better, stronger businesses. So thank you very much. I shall pass you over.
That's all right. There's still a little bit, I've got a bit of feedback going on. I think there's a couple of people still not on mute, but
Might be me. I'll put myself on mute.
that's all right. You'll have to bear with me. I've got some new glasses as well, so I'm not quite sure which ones work better on. So if I keep swapping over, just ignore me. So hi, thank you, Louise, for inviting me. I know she's been doing lots of different lunchtime learnings, which is great for everybody. I recognise a few of your faces, so hello to those of you that know me, and those of you that don't. My name's Sarah Matthews, and I've been a practicing holistic therapist for 30 years now this year. I specialise in aromatherapy, reflexology, Reiki, crystal therapy, and I love sharing my treatments with my clients from my garden therapy room. Some of them have specific treatments, some just have bespoke treatments based on how they're feeling on the day. They just set a time out, and then we do whatever works for them. I've also been an educator for over 20 years and love sharing the joy that holistic complementary therapies can bring to therapists and people, helping them to improve their well-being. I'm a big believer in self-care, and that's therapists. We should put ourselves first, so we can give our clients the best energy treatments that we can, which I know is not always easy because we tend to ignore ourselves. So whether you're new to holistic or complementary therapies or experienced, I just want to help you enhance your self-care, support you in your therapies, and share in your business success. So Louise has invited me to talk about self-care for therapists. And as I've said, I'm a big believer in self-care for therapists. And when you work as a holistic practitioner, therapist, complementary therapist, whatever you choose to call yourself, it can feel overwhelming at times, especially if you're self-employed, working from home or mobile, and you've not got any work colleagues to support you. You can sometimes feel like you're working day and night, chasing your tail, struggling to retain or gain new clients. It can feel lonely when it comes to sharing ideas, asking for advice, learning new skills, or looking for inspiration. And when you have a question, you have to try and figure it out yourself. And you can sometimes get a bit stuck in the same routine, working on autopilot. So as I've said, I'm a big believer in self-care, and that as therapists, we should put ourselves first. We should be our number one client. We should be top of the list, so we can give our clients the best energy treatments that we can and be fully present in our therapy rooms, within our therapy businesses, and for our clients. When I started out 30 years ago, I would say 90% of therapists were employed. So you literally turned up to work, went in, did your treatments, came out. Now there's probably 75, 80% are self-employed, and we have to do everything for ourselves. So one of the things I've recently developed is the Holistic Practitioner's Wellness Toolkit, to create an area for like-minded practitioners to have someone to share ideas with, any worries, and also help to build on their self-care. So each month we're looking at self-care techniques that you can use to enhance your own energy and well-being, that of your clients. So depending on what things you're trained in, you can then use these to help enhance your clients' therapies as well. So hopefully helping you to feel more confident within your therapy business, and like I say, enhance your self-care and therapies. So I'm sure, you all probably know at some point you don't do what you recommend to your clients. And managing your own self-care and energy as a self-employed therapist, or you might be employed and work for someone and work for yourself. You can feel overworked, overwhelmed, overloaded with treating your clients. You've got their stresses, anxieties, all the things they tell you about when they come in, and you ask them how they are and they go blah, it all comes out, and then they leave at the end and you think, great. So it's about managing your self-care. But before I get onto self-care, I just want to look at how you can sort of set your boundaries a bit within your treatment room to make your treatments and your working week just feel a little bit less overwhelming. And it's quite a simple fix, and hopefully some of you will resonate with what I'm saying and hopefully be able to tweak a few things to help your work balance feel a bit better. So when we first start out as holistic therapists or go self-employed, you tend to feel that you can't say no to your clients. They text you, they want an appointment. Can you just fit me in here? Can you squeeze me in there? Especially if you work from home, they tend to think that basically you work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So it might be late night texts that you're getting for bookings, them wanting an instant reply to their inquiries. We've all had those clients where they text you, and if you don't reply within an hour, they've sent a question mark, did you get my message? So you can sometimes feel like you're working all hours. And as I said, when I first started out, I was employed and I just turned up to work and did my treatments. But people also rang to book an appointment, and if nobody answered, they left a message on an answer machine. And depending on the day of the week, it could be the next day before they get a reply. We used to finish work at 1 o'clock on a Saturday, and there was nobody back in the salon till Tuesday morning. So any messages that were left in between time were just sat there till you came back. So with regards to your clients and feeling like you're working all the time, I think it's a good idea not to reply immediately to text messages. I know it's easy to have your phone and suddenly think, oh, I'll just reply to them. I think if you reply too quickly, they then expect to reply quickly all the time. And in the age of social media and the internet, people are used to having instant access to everything and it being there. So they can easily come to expect instant replies, but we don't work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So just because you're self-employed or work from home, you don't have to be available 24/7. We have a life too. And if you were employed, you wouldn't be dealing with messages anyway. Somebody else would be doing that. So like I say, back in the days before mobile phone and text, people left a voicemail on an answer machine and they had to wait for a reply. What's the worst that can happen? They've just got to wait a little while for you to get back to them. So when they come to ask for appointments and, oh, can you do this day, that day, don't feel like you have to say yes. And don't be afraid to say, sorry, I'm not working that day. If you were employed and somebody wanted to book in on a Wednesday and Wednesday was your day off, you'd just say, sorry, that's my day off. And they'd have to come on a different day. So try and block your hours out in your diary and stick to them. I use a paper diary, so I like to highlight the days I'm working and the days I'm off, and so I can see that, and I'll just say to people, sorry, I don't work Saturdays, or I'm not working that day. And so otherwise you'll find if you're only wanting to work 20 hours a week, those 20 hours a week, instead of being over 3 days, if you want to do 3 days, you'll probably end up feeling like you're working 5, 6, 7 days a week because you've ended up popping someone on a Saturday morning, popping someone on a Monday night, popping somebody Thursday afternoon when actually he's going to have the afternoon off and go shopping or something. Try and just stick to your work time so you feel less overwhelmed with, when you're working. Have a pre-done thank you message on your phone. Some systems have it, so you can have it that when a message comes through, you can set them a reply and it'll say, thank you for your message. I'll get back to you within my working hours. And you can then put what your working hours are, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 till 7, whatever they are. So they know when you're going to reply. Put a time block in your diary each day to respond to messages, so you're not trying to squeeze it in between clients every day. And make sure you tell any new clients or existing clients what your hours are. My clients know the days and times I work, but I've told them all they can message me and ring me whenever they want, but they will only get a reply when I'm working. And other than that, they've just got to sort of wait. And one of the best things I think you can do is have 2 phones, one for work, one for personal. Have a second phone. So when you're not at work and you're off and you go out for the day or whatever, you're not carrying your work around with you and you hear it pinging in your bag and feel like you've got to get back to them. So have a separate phone. So you can then, I switch mine on to silent at least 7:30, 8 o'clock every night, and it's on silent until I get up the next morning and after I've had my breakfast. So if I was employed by someone and going out to work, I wouldn't know who's rung in between me leaving work and going back the next day. So just try and create some boundaries with your clients for when they can contact you so you don't feel like it's work, work, work all the time. So on to managing our own self-care and energy. Managing our own self-care and energy, we should all be able to do that, but it's probably not the case for many of us. And it can be a bit of a nightmare because it's so easy to get caught up in everybody else's things that are going on, clients, family, friends. You know, they come in, you ask them how they are, and some people say, yeah, I'm fine, and other people spend 10, 15 minutes telling you about everything that's going on, which is great because that's what we're there to do. We want to treat them. But a lot of people will then say they don't have time for themselves because they're not managing their time. They feel like they're working every day. But you've got to remember, if you remember saying you can't drink from an empty cup. So you're the main cog as therapist that keeps your therapy business going. Nobody else is going to manage this for you or top it up. So we should see ourselves as our number one client. We should be the top client on our list. If you were to write a list of who your best clients are, how often they come, we should be at the top, because if we're not managing ourselves, who's actually going to offer your clients the best treatments if you're not doing it? So I'm a big believer in the fact that you can only take your clients and their energy as far as you've gone yourself. So if you're not doing the things you say and recommend to your clients, how, can they expect to get the best from you? So if you're not topping up your cup, you'll be left feeling exhausted, fatigued, not able to offer your clients the treatments to the best of their abilities. And at the end of the day, they're paying for us for a service. If you went to a restaurant and the meal wasn't quite what you thought it was, you send it back, or you don't eat it, or you don't go back again. So you want, as a therapist, to be offering the best that you can, so they want to return, because that's what our business is. So to start with, as I've said, don't overwork yourself as well. Start about thinking about your hours. How many do you want to work? How many do you need to work? And how many can you work? Make sure within those hours that you're including breaks and lunches. A lot of people, it's easy when you're booking people in to just book them in back to back. If you were employed by someone, you would expect to get, 15, 20-minute break for every so many hours that you work. You'd expect a lunch break. So give yourself those breaks between clients so you've got time to switch off, just take a breather, sit down for a few minutes and clear your head, and also help to rest your hands, because it's a physical therapy. And if you're not managing how much you're doing long term, how long will you keep going as a therapist if you're just starting out in the industry? So ask yourself, when did you last have a treatment? When did you last book and go not as a therapist, as a client, for a treatment yourself? Was it last month, 2 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago? Was it when you did your training course, however long ago that was? you might do a treatment swap with another therapist. So one of the best things I think you can do is sit yourself in front of a mirror and do yourself a consultation. Get one of your consultation forms out and talk to yourself and ask yourself all the questions that are on your consultation form and fill it in honestly. Then put your therapist's head on, and as your therapist, talk to yourself in the mirror and tell them what you would recommend. If they come into you, if you've come in for your treatment, they've got an hour or 2 hours with you, what would you be recommending to you as your therapist to have? How often would they be recommended it? What aftercare or what things might you be recommended? You might be recommending they go and have something that you don't offer, but just do yourself a consultation and answer all those questions you ask everybody else and see what you would come up with yourself. And it is great to do treatment swaps, but mainly people do them because they're free and they're doing it with a friend. But they generally take twice as much time as normal. You also generally know each other really well and will spend most of the time chit-chatting, and not relax the same as if you went as a client to a therapist for a paid treatment. So trying to have a regular paid treatment is great. I was talking to my hairdresser sort of about this the other week, and she said, for years, she says, me and my friend, I think a friend was called Rachel, she says, we've been doing each other's hairs for years. We do a treatment swap, but she says it's got where it's 2-3 hours of our time. And she says, we're trying to fit it in around working. Sometimes she says it's on a night time. And she says, by the time she's gone, she says, I wish I was in bed an hour ago. She says, I sometimes wish I could just go to it as a paid client. And I said to her, well, why don't you just suggest it that you actually start paying each other and go in as a paid client? And then you're not trying to squeeze it in around everything else and it becomes more of a chore. So if you can have a paid client, I appreciate not everyone's got the time or the money for going for a paid treatment session. But when I say treat yourself, it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. Treating yourself as a holistic therapist, all the skills that we've learned throughout the years as being therapists, or even if you're new, they are all essentially self-care treatments that have turned into treatments that we offer to people for them to pay us. But way back in, like, you go in the Egyptian pyramids, there's pictures of them massaging each other's feet. Indian head massage is from people massaging their heads. That they weren't all just courses to start with. Everything was a self-care treatment. So you can utilize all the skills you've got for your own self-care. So like I say, when you've done your consultation, you can work out what treatment you want to go and have. But if you can't go and have it and you've got different skills yourself, you can use these on yourself. I'm just going to go through a few of them, and then we are going to do some self-care work on ourselves. So Reiki, those of you that are Reiki trained, and you don't need to be a Reiki practitioner. If you don't want to add Reiki to your skill set, that's absolutely fine, but anyone can do Reiki 1. Reiki 1 is essentially a self-care skill. So self-care Reiki can be done little and often. I do mine before I get out of bed in the morning. You can do it in the shower. You could do it during a coffee break, between clients. I also try and do it before I go to sleep at night. Use it little and often. When you've done Reiki level 1, you'll realize how easy it is to manage your own energy and help improve your sleep and your well-being just with some self-care Reiki in it. It doesn't need to be much, but just every day, consistency is the key with your self-care for Reiki. Reflexology. I'm guessing most of you here have done reflexology. There are so many reflexology points that you can use in your daily life to ease stress, anxiety, improve sleep, your general well-being. You can work your feet if you can get to them. I can't really get to my feet myself, not comfortably anyway. But you've got your hands, you can work your face, massaging around the ears, all of those things, again, think about if you were your client, what would you recommend to your client for self-care reflexology? What would you be telling them to do? Which points on the hands would you be telling them to work? You can do them yourself. You can do them between clients. You can do them while you're sat watching TV. So just have a think about you as your client. You're your number one client. So keep thinking about what you're going to do. Aromatherapy. Even if you're not a trained aromatherapist, you can use essential oils for your own self-care. They've got some amazing properties that can really help enhance your energy levels, your mood, help calm the emotions, help with brain fog, just help with focus. So you can create your own blends. So, like I say, you don't have to be an aromatherapist, so you don't have to be trained to do them with clients, but you can absolutely use them yourself. You can put them in diffusers, you can use them in the bedroom, you could create aura spritzes to help you sleep or lift your mood throughout the day. You can create rollerball blends to boost your well-being so you can smell them. So much you can do with essential oils. How many of you work on your clients' chakras and energy? Lots of people talk about chakra balancing, but how many of you have actually balanced your own chakras from the root up to the crown? Or is it just what you've read? So you think, oh, I can work on their chakras. Have you actually done some chakra balancing yourself for self-care? So if you're looking at balancing clients' chakras and working with their energy, ideally you need to have balanced your own and work through balancing your own chakras. So make sure you do what I would call like a chakra ABC. So activate, balance, and clear your energy centers at least once every 6 months. Get rid of all that blocked energy that might be there. And then when you're working with your clients, you'll work more effectively with their energies. Crystal therapy, lots of people are into crystals, whether you offer it to your clients or not. I create myself a crystal grid every month based on whatever I'm drawn to. This month I have done one for sleep because World Sleep Day was the other week. You can carry crystals to help balance your equilibrium. You can create little crystal mojo bags that you can carry around, pop them in your pocket, keep them under your pillow to help you sleep. But I think as therapists, to start your day, create a morning routine. That way you'll get off on the right foot. I have my alarm clock set 30 minutes before I need to get up, and I press it on snooze. So that gives me time to come round properly while my body's coming around after being asleep. I'm not one of these people who can just jump out of bed as soon as the alarm clock goes off. But start with some self-care Reiki. Even if you're not Reiki trained, you can just work with your own body's life force energy. And just ask it to go to your highest good and greatest need. If you've got anywhere specific you want the energy to go, allow it to flow there. And just work by stretching and tensing your body to start with to really help wake your body up. I like to get people, and I do this with my clients when they come in at the start of their treatments, like what's the word for it? Like a preparatory relaxation. So a lot of people come straight from work or they've been doing other things. So they just need 5 minutes or so to actually calm down and relax before they get into their treatment. So tense your body sort of from the root to the crown, pointing your toes, wiggling your ankles, tense your arms and your legs and your fingers, your shoulders and your head. Take some deep breaths in and out, hold them, and then relax. So just gently waking up all the parts of your body. So start moving about in the bed. Once Andy's up and the cats have got off the bed, I can starfish a bit and I've got enough room to let the body come round. once you are up as well, try and avoid looking at your phone or going on social media for the first 30 minutes. Get your breakfast, have a coffee or a tea, whatever you have. If it's nice enough, go and sit outside and get some fresh air. And for those of you that work from home, walk to work. Otherwise, you just end up being in the house or just stepping out the house and going to the bottom of the garden. Think about if you were going to work, you'd allow that time to get your coat on, get in the car, or walk to work wherever you are. Walk around the block to go to work. So get yourself into that. I'm going to work now. And then when you're finished at the end of the day, allow yourself time to walk home from work. So put your coat on, walk out the drive, go around the block again, let all that fresh air blow away the stresses and strains of your day, and feel like you've stepped away from work before you come back in after a busy day with your clients and everything they have offloaded onto you. And so you feel like you've finished your work day, you've messaged everybody, you've switched your phone off, and then walk home from work, walk in the door, that's it, you're done for the day. So hopefully those things will help you. But what I want to do now is a quick chakra reset with some facial chakra points and some mindful breathing to help you relax, take time out, and hopefully you can use these between clients in your day. They won't take long at all, or you could use them before you go to bed to help you switch off from the day. But like I say, remember, we're our number one client, not Mrs. Smith, who comes every week or every 2 weeks and spends £100. We're top of that. We need to be putting ourselves first before you think about everybody else. So if you can all just sit comfortably, try and put your feet on the floor. If you're in a place where you can put your feet on the floor. And we're going to do some facial chakra points just to help balance and calm you. We're going to work with our breath, and I'm just going to explain what we're going to do, because then I'm going to take my glasses off and I won't be able to see you on the screen. So you're going to use, you can use your middle finger or your index finger, and we're going to put them on specific points. We're going to be pressing in. And as you press in, you're going to take a deep breath in as you press. And then as you breathe out, we're going to release. We're then going to tap the area that we're working on. And then we're going to do some circles. So as you're looking at your hand, you will be doing an anti-clockwise circle on the area that we've been working. And this is going to help activate, balance, and clear the chakra points on the face and help to just balance and calm you down. It doesn't take long, so you can do it between clients. You could do it before you go to bed. I like to put my night balm on and do it while I'm watching TV. So I'm going to take my glasses off now. So if you've got your feet on the floor, you can close your eyes if you want. I will be talking you through it, but if you want to watch me, then you might need your to look at me on the camera. So just close your eyes to start with and take a nice slow deep breath in and out. Really connect. Feel your feet connecting to the floor. And then taking your hand, we're going to just in the middle of the chin, you're going to press in as you breathe in. And release as you breathe out. And we're going to do that 3 times. Next, we're going to tap for 6. And then we're going to do a gentle circle over that area. So like I say, if you were looking at your hand, it's going in an anti-clockwise direction. Do about 6 circles. And then release. Next, we're going to move just above the lip area, just below either side of the nose, onto the sacral chakra. So using 2 hands, we're going to press, and as we breathe in, we're going to press in and release the pressure as you breathe out. And we're going to do that 3 times. Next, going to tap 6 times and then do the circles over it. I always feel I want to move my head instead of my fingers on this one. And then release. Going to move to the solar plexus, so just under the cheekbone. We're going to press in as we breathe in and release as we breathe out. Do that 3 times. And then tap 6 times and then do the circles. From there, we're going to move up to the heart chakra. So either side of the nose, level with the inner part of the eye. So we're going to press as we breathe in and release as we breathe out. We're going to do that 3 times. And then we're going to tap and then do the circles. Going to move between the eyebrows to the throat chakra. So press as you breathe in and release as you breathe out. Do that 3 times. And then we're going to tap and circle. From there, we're moving up to the 3rd eye. So just in the little dip that's in the middle of your forehead. So press as you breathe in and release as you breathe out. And tap and circle. And then finally to the crown. So onto the top of the head, take a deep breath in and press down. And release as you breathe out. Do that 3 times. And tap and circle. And then just take a couple of deep breaths in and out, allowing your feet to connect to the ground again. And open your eyes. So that's just a simple one you can do yourself between clients just to help balance and calm you. You could do it, like I say, before you go to bed, between clients, at lunchtime, but just find time in the day to give yourself time to just sort of reset a bit. Next, I'm just going to do some mindful breathing with you, and you can use this with your clients at the start of a treatment, but you just need to take time out for yourself, especially if you've had busy days, you've got things going on in your own life. And like I say, we should be top of our list, not way down at the bottom. So sit yourself somewhere calm. You might lay yourself on your therapy couch. You might have a sacred space Separate to that, you might sit outside in the sun. And breathing is the foundation of our lives and something that we give little thought to on a daily basis. And it helps connect us to our own energy and universal life force. And until something happens and we find ourselves with a shortness of breath, do we actually think about our breathing at all? Before we do any of our treatments, you want to prepare your mind and bodies to receive any energy that you've got. You want that to flow as effectively as possibly. But you also want to be in the right frame of mind to help your clients with their therapy sessions. So it's just a short breathing meditation that's going to help relax us and allow our mind and body to feel free from all distractions. So if you can sit yourself comfortably and pop your feet on the floor, relax your hands either onto your lap or down by your side, wherever you're comfortable. And if you can close your eyes for me and just take a minute, begin with a few deep breaths, breathing in deeply and breathing out slowly. If you like to work with essential oils, you could work with some lavender or some frankincense just to help relax you and calm you. So as we begin, I want you to bring your awareness to your breath. You might find a million thoughts start to invade your head, but just acknowledge that they're there, pop them to one side, and let them know that you'll be back to them later. And as you continue with your breathing, bring your awareness back to the breath and find that the breath distracts you from those thoughts that are in your head. Practicing a breathing meditation on a regular basis will help you to feel more peaceful, balanced, and focused in your life and less distracted. So breathing in and out, really relaxing your shoulders down on the out breath. Breathe in deeply, in and out, slowly. And now just allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. There's no need to control your breath in any way, but just allow the body to breathe for itself. Allowing the natural rhythm of the body to take over. Permitting ourselves to just be here without having to do anything, without having to go anywhere or achieve anything, but just allowing the mind and body to rest. Keeping the body relaxed, relaxing the shoulders. Relax the muscles in the jaw and the face. Allow your teeth to separate. Relax the neck and notice if there are any areas of tension or tightness. See if you can soften those areas. And as you continue to allow your body to breathe naturally from this place of stillness, in this place of relaxation, you can bring your awareness onto the feeling of the breath within the body. Just notice, where do you feel the breath the most in the body? Where can you notice any physical sensations of movement within the body? You might notice the rising and falling of the chest or the belly. You might notice the feeling of the air as it passes in through your nostrils and out through the mouth. Just notice where you feel the breath the most, seeing if you can connect to the raw physical sensation. Notice the texture of the breath without judging it as good or bad, but just observing it. You might notice the whole movement of the breath as it comes in through the nostrils and down the throat, and as the belly expands, and then on the out breath, as the belly contracts, the air gets pushed up through the lungs, out through the throat or the nostrils. See if you can follow the movement of the breath. You can either pick a single spot or see how the breath changes in that spot over time, or follow through the different places of the body where the breath goes. Just stay connected to the present moment and continue to breathe in and out. Allowing your breath now to return to its natural rhythm. I want you to point your toes towards the floor. Stretch out your legs. Stretch out your arms and your fingers. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, relax all of those muscles and joints. And then repeat. Point your toes towards the floor. Stretch out your arms and your legs and your fingers. Take a deep breath in and breathe out and relax and wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes. So I hope you've enjoyed this session, and thank you for letting me share these insights with everyone, Louise. But it doesn't have to stop there. This Wednesday evening, I've got my monthly Sacred Soul session, which is a distance healing session combining Reiki, crystal therapy, visualization, and meditation. So if you want to take some time out for your own self-care, it'll take about 45 minutes, and the aim this week is to help you sleep better. If you can't join live, it doesn't matter. The recording will be available for 28 days. And with distance healing transcends space and time. So you can catch up and watch it at any point that you want. So you could get a good few sessions in before the recording isn't available anymore. So I'll pop the link on later for this if you want to join it, and then you'll be able to click on it. And if you can join live, great. You don't have to have your camera on though, because it is a distance meditation healing session. So it'll just be me on screen. But then you can also then use it to help you in your therapy sessions if you want with your clients. So thank you very much, Louise.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sarah. Well, hopefully this has really given people the reminder of just how lovely it all is and why we came into this industry in the first place.
Absolutely.
Thank you.